Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management, joined by Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. Welcome.
Danny, good to see you.
Hey, have you heard this one? Everyone is short-staffed. Recruiting, retaining great employees a priority.
And I hear this all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to touch a sore spot there, but it is a battle for good employees. And a strong benefits package can help a company get a leg up when it comes to competing offers. Now, decent salary, that's important, but a solid benefits package might tip the balance, especially if some of these younger employees are running it by their parents, and you know all the dads are like, yes, that's a good benefits package.
Yeah, well, and they're Googling it too. When you think of that, you think the health benefits, the HSAs, supplemental life, disability, even flex time. Those are all things that people look at. Obviously, I'm a 401k guy, so when we look at 401k, the one thing that kind of distinguishes 401k retirement plans from the others is if there's a match or there is a company contribution, there's going to be an account with money in it that people can see. So it is a little bit different, but all those things for sure come together to make a better offer.
Here's one of the issues. What happens when the retirement benefit plan looks good on the surface and then it suffers because of poor execution? You got frustrated employees, that erodes morale, loyalty suffers, and guess what? You're back at square one with a help wanted sign.
This is frequently how we end up coming into a relationship. The structure is all there, the infrastructure, if you want to call it, for a retirement plan, but it just is being poorly executed. And some of that is, maybe the advisor isn't great or the client is just overwhelmed. They're short-staffed already, so now they got to put this on top of it. So a big part of what we do when we walk into a relationship, our first thing is to say, hey, let us take a look at what you've got. How can we enhance this thing before we go about making any changes to it?
Yeah, what's right? What's going right? Let's start with the actual enrollment process for new employees. There's the traditional, and then there's a quick enrollment experience. What is the best method for onboarding somebody into enrollment?
Yeah, it sort of depends. I think there's a greater trend toward automatic enrollment, which means once you're eligible, you're in unless you choose to do something different. That is technically, to answer your question, that is probably the most effective because it just makes it happen. But when you look at trying to be a little bit more proactive, this is a role that we play with our clients. Is we say, give us the name and phone number of the person, we'll reach out or set up a time to come out to your facility. If you have 7 or 8 people who are eligible at one time, we will sit down with them and enroll them in the plan. There are some quick enrollment guides. There's some that are more in-depth way of doing it. I guess it depends on the person.
You probably saw this. A research firm studied enrollment and found a, quote, downturn and occasional stagnation in the already underwhelming guidance offerings found during online enrollment. Ouch.
Well, I think there is an element of the companies, the record keepers have gotten to a point of trying to make it so simple that they have oversimplified it, and it's a 1, 2, 3 step process. This happened with my wife in the place she was working at. I helped her enroll, obviously, because of what I do. I wanted to do more things, and it was just bing, 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 and she was done. So it's a difficult balance. It really is.
I'd be frustrated if I was a new employee. A decline in enrollment, instructions, not enough answers to frequently asked questions, a lack of relevant support for various enrollment tasks. That would get at me.
Well, I think part of this comes back to there has been such a stress in our industry on you've got to keep your fees low, fiduciary fees and all this stuff, to the point where a lot of employers have stripped out the assistance that people need because, they don't want to be seen as having too high a cost associated with their plan. So again, there is a balance. If someone is not participating in the plan because it was too frustrating for them to get in, what difference does it make if you have great funds or a great plan or any of that? The people aren't benefiting from it. So this is what we battle with on a daily basis, trying to help people navigate.
Only 30% of online platforms displayed contact information without having to go to a separate page. What works is when there is guidance through every step of the process with a contact menu, multiple options for assistance. You must see companies that do it well, do it that way.
Yeah, and this goes back to what are you looking for help with? We are very, as you know, proactive in reaching out. We have lunchroom posters. We have a dedicated participant website that helps people. People can text us, our clients. Their employees can send us a text to communicate with us. So we try so hard to be there and make people know that we're there and easy to get a hold of. It varies from when you're looking at record-keeping providers. I think that's where a lot of people think of, who has my money? How can I get a hold of them? We try to step in between those and try to help people navigate that stuff because we always know how to get a hold of everyone.
Important stuff in the enrollment process, and it needs to do its job this way. The contribution selection, the investment choices, designating a beneficiary. that's the most important stuff, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. The number one most important thing, all the research says, how much are you going to contribute, right? Because if you're not contributing, again, but then diversification is really important. The beneficiary thing, I'm glad you touched on that. Very, very important. And we do all those things, generally speaking, in the setup process, because then people are off to a good start.
So a company needs some help doing this. How do we work with them?
We work as advisors. We come in, and whether it's a professional firm, manufacturing, retail, all that, we aim to meet people where they are. So take advantage of your advisor is the recommendation I have for these people. They're there for a reason. You're paying them for a reason. Make sure that they're making the most of this benefit for your team.
For investment, retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning, we do it as a fee-only fiduciary. Know the difference? Our website, annexwealth.com. Click that Get Started button. Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. As always, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Danny.